Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. Happy Thursday to you. Thanks for being with us. Waiting for that signature Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Oh, I love it. Tomorrow, by way of announcement, you're going to get a, well, I kissed this guy. Tomorrow, if you wanted a camp update, you're going to get it. BYU insider Mitch Harper and Utah insider Steve Bartle are going to be hosting the program for JJ and I tomorrow.
We thought, you know what? It's camp week. Let's just hand the show over to the two guys that are buried in a bed.
They're the ones we were going to call up and ask for a couple hours.
You don't need us tomorrow.
Answers anyway. This is fine. So there you go. Yes, excited about it. Pumped about it too, because the cool thing about it is, these guys, like, they're hustling and doing their grind, and they meet up here at the studio, and it's like, what's going on in Provo? What's going on in Salt Lake? Like, it's fun to see this thing combine. And if you think that either one of them doesn't know something about the other team, oh, they know. You know what I mean? So it's going to be awesome to be able to get that insight tomorrow. Speaking of insight, let's jump into the program. Our show brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Give it a shot today. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, all in the refrigerated section. Give it a shot. Like I said, let's kick things off with the cut. Let's get this hour going. Let's talk some more conference football in the Big 12, and we'll jump in right here. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. We appreciate all their support. And we appreciate coming on again for another year. And it's always a treat for us to be able to get Dan Hoard on the program. He is the radio play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Bengals and Cincinnati Bearcats. Dan, thanks for being on the show again, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Well, this is a fun year for us because both Utah and BYU get to face off against the Bearcats. It's one of these interesting things where the Big 12 has handed us all sorts of crazy outcomes. What's going on in Cincinnati, and what is Scott Satterfield doing to make sure that this is not going to be one of those years that everybody talks about this being a hot seat for him?
Yeah, there is definitely some of that talk because this will be his third year as Cincinnati's head coach, and the Bearcats have not had a winning record yet or gone to a bowl game yet. I think that is the expectation from the fan base for the next logical step in order for Coach Satterfield to avoid hearing more of that hot seat talk. So that's the mission. At least that's job one, to get to at least 6 wins and go to a bowl game. And I think that's very realistic for this team this year. They've got a returning quarterback and a good one in Brendan Sorsby. The Athletic named him the number 20 quarterback in college football, number 5 in the Big 12. He's a really good player. They've got a tremendous defensive tackle in Dante, the Godfather Corleone. They've got a possible first-round draft pick at tight end in Joe Royer. So they've got some really good pieces. And I think, again, it's a very realistic possibility that they're going to win at least 6 and hopefully more.
Yeah, the Luke Fickell era was just tremendous. Making the college football playoff, it just had to be thrilling for Cincinnati fans. How difficult and how patient are they going to be having been to that height and then patiently waiting to return there?
Yeah, fans these days are not that patient. I do think the ones that are realistic about this understand that the timing was really tough for Scott Satterfield. Luke Fickell left just before Cincinnati made the transition from the American to the Big 12, so that was going to be difficult for anybody. And it was compounded by the fact that you're in a easy-to-transfer era, an era where players can be bought legally with NIL money. So all of that combined to make the transition very, very tough on Scott Satterfield. I think it was, reasonable to give him several years to get this thing going, and this is year 3. So I do think that expectation to finish with at least 6 wins and get back to a bowl game is probably where this program should be now.
Utah, of course, is their second year in the Big 12. BYU and Cincinnati going into the conference at the same time. This is their third year. How have the Bearcats handled kind of the whole transition? We've watched BYU go through it at the same time, and it's interesting to see teams have to make that jump. Some teams do it better than others, but how has Cincinnati handled just that whole transition and how the fan base has dealt with it also? Because basketball is difficult, but it's a fun league to be in. Football is more difficult, but who doesn't want to have a challenging schedule and higher stakes for this thing? But how have the Bearcats overall handled that transition now going into year 3?
Yeah, it's been difficult, particularly in football. I think Cincinnati very quickly realized that players in the Big 12 are bigger, stronger, faster than what they had faced in the American. And while BYU transitioned really nicely, last year and had a great season, if you look at the schools that made the jump from the American to the Big 12, none of them have done well yet. Houston hasn't done well. UCF hasn't done well. Cincinnati hasn't done well. I think fan bases in all of those places realize it does take some time to move from that league to a league like the Big 12. And I think Cincinnati is poised to have the best team of any of those schools this year. I feel pretty confident in saying that, but it hasn't always been easy to watch the transition.
What's the buzz among fans playing Nebraska in the opener in Kansas City? Kind of an odd start to the season, but seems like that could have some juice.
No doubt about it. That game was originally scheduled to be in Cincinnati. It probably wasn't going to happen at all if the Bearcats weren't willing to move to a neutral site. So originally the game was moved to Indianapolis, and then Arrowhead Stadium came in with an offer that the Bearcats could not refuse in this era where every dollar counts. So it essentially becomes a Nebraska home game, even though Cincinnati will technically be the home team. So it's a very challenging opener. But I think Cincinnati fans look back to a game several years ago in Luke Fickell's second season as the head coach. They did not do well in his first year. Expectations were not particularly high, but they opened on the road at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. On their third series of that game, a redshirt freshman named Desmond Ritter became their quarterback. They won the game, and they were off and running, and they won 10 or more games in each of the next 4 years. So I'm not saying that a win at Nebraska or a win versus Nebraska would necessarily do the same thing, but there is some hope that maybe they can jumpstart a great season by pulling off an upset in that game.
In a conference where last year we were shocked by how the flip happened from top to bottom and bottom to top, it wasn't just that a couple of teams that were not supposed to be necessarily that good or maybe middle of the pack. It's bottom of the conference was at the top and then vice versa. Why not Cincinnati? What makes them able to do something like that? Or do you think that they have the talent to be able to flip the script totally of what we've seen from the Bearcats over just the past couple of seasons?
Yeah, I do, actually. If you look back to last year, Cincinnati was 5-2. And in contention at that point of the season in the Big 12. And then, unfortunately, they bottomed out. They gave away some games. They lost some tough ones and didn't win another game the rest of the way. But the team that you were referring to, essentially, Arizona State, picked for last place and then went on to win the conference title and almost win, a college football playoff game. Cincinnati beat Arizona State and beat them handily at Nippert Stadium. So they've got some talent on this team, and much like that Arizona State team, they've got a really good quarterback. It obviously starts there, and I think they feel really good about Brendan Sorsby. This will be his third year as a college starter, 1 at Indiana, now 2 at Cincinnati. He did a lot of good things last year, and I think the talent level around him is better this year. They've upgraded their wide receiver core. They've got 2 really good running backs. I think their offensive line is going to be solid. So I think hope begins with him in particular and then the offense in general.
Yeah, his stats were impressive. 64% completion rate, 2,800 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Really impressive season, but I'm sure they would like to him to take another step. What is that step for him? What does he need to do to get better?
Well, I think it's going to help that he's got wide receivers that can get open against Big 12 competition. I think as the season went along and Cincinnati played some of the better teams in the conference late in the year, their wideouts couldn't get open. So what do? They went to the portal and got guys with the ability to separate. Cyrus Allen comes from Texas A&M, great speed and quickness. I think he's going to be a weapon. They brought in a guy named Jeff Caldwell from Lindenwood University, so nobody's ever heard of him, but he dominated at that level, and he looked great in spring football, and he's looked good in the first few practices of fall camp. I get to see T. Higgins on Sundays, and Jeff Caldwell's that kind of guy. He's 6'5", big arms, big catch radius. We'll see if he can make the jump from Lindenwood University to the Big 12, but at least so far he's been impressive.
We've seen weirder things happen, right? There's just these guys who come from wherever. It's like, look, Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. That guy played at Incarnate Word, and he had 0 stars coming out of high school. So why not? I'm looking at the Cincinnati schedule too. And I think the Bearcats are poised to have the possibility of something special happen, at least in terms of a flip of that script. Like we were saying, the Nebraska opening, fine, but no Arizona State, no Kansas State, no Texas Tech. Those are teams that people think are pretty solidly in that contender category at the very least. Iowa State, Baylor, and BYU are all going to be at home. 4 true road games. This sets up nicely for the Bearcats.
Yeah, I agree with that. And 7 home games is significant. So, yeah, I'm not including the Nebraska game. That's technically a home game, but obviously isn't. But they've got 7 true home games at Nippert Stadium.
Wow.
That's going to help them in Big 12 competition. I would like to think that even some of the really powerful-looking teams going into the season that they wind up playing at home are teams that they wind up beating just because of the home field advantage. So that's going to be a big key to them having the kind of year that they want to have and Scott Satterfield needs to have.
Do you think there's a swing game on that schedule that could really tell us a lot about them or determine just how good they are this year?
I got a couple games that I kind of put in that category. Home games against Iowa State and Baylor. Obviously, both of those teams are picked to finish ahead of Cincinnati in the conference, but getting them at Nippert Stadium, you'd like to think that if you're a good team, you're going to beat a so-called better team at home at some point. In the Luke Fickell era, they did that consistently. They had one of those wins last year against Arizona State, so hopefully they'll have at least one this year.
It's hard not to have a conversation with you about. I feel like we have this conversation with you every year, and then we end up talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. You brought up T. Higgins, but I know the Trey Hendrickson drama. Probably it feels good to have one of your superstars back at camp, right? I mean, how did that whole thing play out? And in the end, what ended up being the deal was, I know he kind of brought up like, it was selfish for me to be that tough of a holdout, and I want to be a good teammate. It's a weird balance to have because these guys want to get paid too. Are things starting to settle a little bit now surrounding the Bengals camp?
Well, keep in mind that every day Trey missed cost him $50,000. So there's something to be said for holding in as opposed to holding out. Yeah. At least you're not going to have a big chunk of money taken out of your paycheck. I'm not sure that people around the country fully understand the situation with Trey. He's under contract. He's not a free agent.
Right.
So he is going to play for the Bengals this year, and they've acknowledged the fact that he's outplayed his old contract. They're prepared to give him a raise. They're prepared to give him a big raise. They just haven't been able to agree on the number and the number of additional years that they would like to put on an extension. I think Trey would like at least 2 years beyond this one. I think at the right price, the Bengals would do that, but he's in his 30s. I don't think they want to commit to something huge a couple of years from now, so they've got to agree on the number. I do think the two sides are pretty close, and if I have to make a bet, I think there'll be an extension by the time the season begins, but I'm not sure it's going to happen anytime within the next few days.
The slow starts for the Bengals are some kind of weird phenomenon. It's really held them back. Did they talk about that, and have they tried to figure out why that is, why they've started so slow with Coach Taylor?
Absolutely. They talk about it nonstop, and they hear about it nonstop, and deservedly so. This will be Zach Taylor's 7th season in Cincinnati. If you look at the first 6 and just take the first 2 weeks of the season, they're 1-11.
Jeez.
I mean, they keep digging these early season holes, and to their credit, they generally dig out. They have an incredible record in December and January. So one of the things that Zach has done to this point is never play starters in the preseason, have relatively little contact at training camp in hopes that guys will not get hurt and be fresher late in the season, and it's worked. But at some point when you're digging these holes, you've got to mix something up. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So this year they're mixing it up. And some of it's, little stuff that you don't really know if it'll make a difference, but you just do it to do something different. So, for example, they're practicing in the morning this year. They used to practice in the afternoon. Zach Taylor has already said starters will play in the preseason, maybe in multiple preseason games. Their camps have been more physical than they've ever been before. So they're very cognizant of trying to avoid another bad start. They're doing all of the logical things and also just doing some different things just in hope that different will be better.
Dan, you've been doing this a long time. Have you ever called a game at Rice Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City?
I have not. Looking forward to it. I've had a couple of opportunities to call games at BYU,
right,
and that's been great. Not necessarily the outcome, but the experience. So looking forward to getting to Utah for the first time.
Well, talk a little bit about what the Bearcats face with. I mean, when you see a guy like Kyle Whittingham who's been coaching, this is now his 21st year, and a guy like Kalani Sitake is going in his 10th year. BYU and Utah are additive to this conference. This is something that we talk about a lot. These are teams that I think really love being in this conference. Obviously, being able to play one another as a rival again. Talk a little bit about what you think Utah presents as an issue and BYU as well.
Well, with Utah, I just keep reading about the offensive line and hearing about the offensive line. So obviously that's something that's getting a lot of national buzz, and the quarterback situation. Just talking to some of the Bengal scouts the other day, they were bringing up some of those offensive linemen. So that's the first thing that comes to mind with Utah. As for BYU, boy, before the quarterback situation, I might have picked BYU to win the league, and I wouldn't have been the only person doing that. I don't do that anymore just because that's such an unknown at this point, but those are obviously going to be two very challenging games for Cincinnati.
Dan Hoard, he's the play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Cincinnati Bengals. He's the busiest man in football every year. Dan, we appreciate you joining us on the program, and we appreciate your insights, and we'll chat with you as we get closer to those games in November between the Bearcats and the Utes and the Bearcats and the Cougs.
Sounds good. Thanks again for having me on.
You bet.
Thanks,
there you
Dan.
go, Dan Hoard.
Wow, respect for, that's one of the best in the business. And you just carved out 20 minutes for us, so I appreciate that. How many guys in the country do college football on a Saturday and turn around and do NFL on a Sunday?
Come on, Dan, give somebody else a chance, would you?
It's impressive.
I mean, how cool is that, though, to be able to travel around and do all that? That must be, you think Greg Wrubell's got he's one of the craziest travel schedules. And, anybody calling games on the football side of things and the basketball side of things, when it gets to that October, November time frame.
Soccer too, right?
Yeah.
So it mixes
all of
that
it.
into it.
So there's a ton that's there, but an NFL schedule with a Big 12 schedule.
You're prepping for 2 football games a week, and you have to do the calls on back-to-back days normally. Obviously,
Wild.
there's some Thursday, Saturday,
I wonder if
Sunday
he
mix
does.
up.
I wonder if he does
Monday.
basketball too. Does he do basketball too? That's a good question. There's no way, right?
I can't imagine.
At some point, you're starting up the basketball season, and then you're like, yeah, but the Bengals are playing on January 3rd, and the Bearcats are playing the night of January 3rd.
Well, you have a year like they did in 2021 when they go to the Super Bowl, and you're playing football until mid-February.
Yes,
that's pretty much. And there's no way.
No,
what an impressive accomplishment.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one too.
Cincinnati's no one's talking about them at all.
It's because
it's
a little bit scary because it's a program that, first of all, they actually recruit very well, and they're in a perfect spot to do their recruiting too. You've got this kind of foot in the Midwest, foot in the East kind of a deal.
A little bit in the South too.
You can dip down into those Floridas and pick out some people. And again, it's a place that's had success before. Why not again? And they brought it up. I mean, they were 5-2, and then they gave some games away. And he does do basketball too.
Bless that guy's heart.
Good luck.
So, what do we talk about? You got to have number one. You got to have to win this league. You got to have a quarterback, right? They got one.
Yes.
Not everybody does.
Yep.
I mean, look at where the nervousness of BYU right now.
Sorsby.
If you have a guy, and he passed for almost 3,000 yards last year, I think they'd like to see him throw more touchdowns, maybe improve that ratio. But he completed, I said the numbers, over 60% of his passes. That was as a sophomore. He's technically a sophomore.
Yeah.
But he's going to be his third year starting in college football. He's experienced now. He's proven. They went out and got some dudes in the transfer portal, like he just said, with the receiver position. They upgraded their offensive line. We should keep an eye on Cincinnati throughout the season. And you're right. You look at that schedule, and we talked about strength of schedule earlier. It's not the hardest slate.
No,
they could be a factor in the end.
Yeah, it matches up well for them. And one of the teams that faces both BYU and Utah, and they're doing it within a 3-week span, I think, too. Yeah. West Virginia's like that, where it's like BYU, I think, BYU hosts West Virginia, and then Utah goes out to West Virginia, and I think it's 1 week after the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cincinnati. I think that's a February, or it's like a November 8th game for Utah. Then it's like a November 22nd game. November 1st, is that what it is? Yeah, and then in November.
Yeah, October 18th
22nd.
for BYU, right?
No, 18th is.
Oh, I'm looking at
Utah
Utah's schedule.
BYU.
I apologize. I'm back on Cincinnati's. Yes, Utah on November 1st, BYU on the 22nd.
Crazy. All right. Let's take a break. We've got tons to get through still. We've got some audio from up on the hill. I still want you to be able to hear from Caleb Lomu, and I think we've also got some sound. Let me see here. Is it Dallin Bentley? We've got some sound from him as well. Yeah. So we've got tons more still going on here on the program. Let's take a break here. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex, with the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
R.I.P. Queen. Somebody pointed out that, and I don't know if it's true or not, but Salt Lake City apparently during their drone show for Pioneer Day had a Julia Reagan nod.
Of course they do.
And if you know, you know.
Rest in peace, Julia.
Julia Reagan is taking over the country.
Is she the most popular Utahn of all time?
Best unintentional viral marketing. I mean, that's what viral means, right? But like at the same time, like amazing.
It shows you the effectiveness of billboards still in the year 2025, I'll tell you that.
What's wild is my favorite is when people are like, I knew Julia Reagan just dropped. Oh, check it out. She's wearing the floral blouse. Oh, collect all of them. Yeah. All right.
I want to see a younger Julia Reagan. Is that possible?
Oh yeah.
I just want them to take us through the years. I want to know more.
How dare you?
I'm curious.
All right. Hey, you can nominate the Youth Sports Volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week award. What does that mean? Well, we honor the people that are awesome youth sports volunteers in your area with your nominations at kslsports.com/contests. And then every Thursday, we read off a winner for you. JJ, today's Thursday. Let's do it. Help us celebrate the volunteers that do an awesome job with the Hercules Hero of the Week award to honor the youth sports volunteers in your neighborhood. Brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. This week's winner is Matt Tuai. Yes, Matt Tuai, nominated by Matias Avalos. Coach Tuai coaches the Hunter Wolverines in the Girls Tackle Football League. How about that? After starting as the defensive coordinator, he was unexpectedly placed as the head coach halfway through the season. Since the moment that he became the head coach, he's put a huge emphasis on team bonding, overcoming adversity, and playing for one another. He's a positive influence on the team, and he is my nominee for the Hercules Hero of the Week award. He's not just a nominee. He's also the winner of this week's Hercules Hero of the Week award. So congrats to Matt Tuai. How do you want to say it? Tuai?
Matt Tuai?
Matt Tuai. Okay.
Either Tuai or Tuai.
Either way.
I think it's Matt Tuai.
We honor Coach Tuai and all he's done for the folks at the Hunter Wolverines Utah Girls Tackle Football League. So what does he get? Coach Tuai gets himself a Visa gift card thanks to the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, and Beehive Meals throws in $200 his way as well. And we can't say enough. Like that's not even enough, but it's a little something for us to honor those Hercules Hero of the Week awards. But Coach Tuwai, we appreciate your efforts, and Matias Avalos, we appreciate your nomination as well. You can hit us up with a nomination with somebody who deserves extra love with the Hercules Hero of the Week award right here. All right, I've got for you. Listen, I shouldn't like this guy. You know what I mean?
Why not?
He's at a program that I don't really like all the time. Has a little bit of an attitude that sometimes I don't like too.
I thought he acted like a little bit of a clown after the Utah and BYU games last year. I'll be honest.
There's some antics there. A
little over the top.
I don't think it's disingenuous, though. And this is a program that needs someone who's genuine. And I think Kenny Dillingham is as genuine as it gets. Am I wrong about that?
He's real. I think he's real.
He's replacing a fraud, right? I mean, let's be honest.
I agree with that.
Herm Edwards talked the talk, and then he just kept talking the talk, and then
Phony
it ended
baloney.
up.
Right.
And he's not the guy you
that
want.
That Graham guy before him was even worse.
And so I just think that Kenny Dillingham on day 2 of camp. Do we have day 1 too? You said we had day 1 too. Let's listen to day 1 yesterday. So day 1 was yesterday across the entire Big 12. And I can't wait for you to hear both. So here was day 1 of Kenny Dillingham giving his estimation of the defending champion Big 12 Arizona State Sun Devils.
I thought that was our best first day. Like I said, I don't like to sing as many praises as I like to do, say more negative, especially when our guys are getting a lot of praise. But today's a good day. And the one thing I'm not going to do is be fake just to say it. Today's a good day. Kudos to them.
There you go. Coach Dillingham. He's our favorite.
Didn't hold back.
No.
I don't know if you caught the end of that, but didn't hold back.
So here, I hope you didn't catch the end of it. So, Coach Dillingham, day 2 of fall camp, went the non-phony baloney route. He said, hey, I'm going to go. He said, I'm not going to be fake just for being fake sake. Oh, he got right back to it. I don't like heaping praise on guys when they don't deserve it. Today was a good day then for him. Here's what he sounded like on day 2.
Yeah, we got to be better. I mean, like I said, our offense in general, too many drops on offense as a group. It was a bad day. I mean, it was a really, really bad day on offense. And it all stems from passion we play with. Is it okay to not make a play? And if you accept it, then you accept it. And that's who you're going to be. Don't be mad going 5-7. It's okay. Don't be mad going 6-6. Don't be mad going 3-9 because somebody has to go those records. There's going to be tons of teams who do it. Why not us? We didn't practice bad. What I mean by that is, we didn't bust. We didn't MA. We threw 1 pick. We didn't practice bad. We didn't practice with passion. We didn't care if we scored a touchdown. We didn't care if there was an interception, right? We didn't care if somebody made a great play for most of practice. We were just out here practicing. And to me, the best teams, it matters all the time. You want to win everything. And today we didn't have that mindset. We didn't want to win. We wanted to practice. And those are 2 different mindsets to me.
You ready?
Good practice of complacency. It was a good practice for a bad team. It was an average practice for an average team. That's what today was.
No, it's cool. You want to go
practice of complacency.
Hey, you want to go 7-5? Great. 6-6, awesome. Hey, own it, because that's the way you're practicing. Then I have a little bit of a John Gruden vibe to it. Yeah, I like it. We're kind of a 5-7 team right now. Hey. That's the attitude that he got, where he's and I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna tell you, you're gonna win games based off of how you practice. And he is. I like the Kenny Dillingham. I like that he said, "Hey, tomorrow could be crappy," and here we are. And here we are.
He nailed it. It was.
So, but this is the kind of, again, I'm not trying to heap praise on Arizona State when they don't. They're the defending champs. But
I wouldn't mind if they went 3-9.
Kenny Dillingham, little slice of humble pie, right? But it's hard.
He knows how to push the right buttons.
He does,
for those guys.
and I just think that you say what you will about that program, you would hire Kenny Dillingham to come and speak at your AlphaCon. He could get the excitement going. Am I wrong?
2025 AlphaCon. Join the bull.
Who's had their
Kenny Dillingham?
Who's had their 200 grams of protein today? Raise your hand. You weaklings. All right. So there you go.
Come ride the bull.
All right. So we love lists. I told you this. And one of the
AlphaCon.
I don't know where that one
Kenny
came from.
Dillingham and AlphaCon.
Just showing up. He's like, just got off my private jet with my
Jeremiah
hot
the
wife.
Bull Evans, Tim Ballard, and Kenny Dillingham.
Hey, you pay $6,500 to be here. You're going to learn something, okay?
This is an AlphaCon of complacency.
Average practice for an average team. No, it was good. No, it was a decent practice for somebody who wants to be a loser. It's cool. It's great. All right, so there was again, we love lists, but this was an interesting one because they have that Yahoo Sports put together a list of 10 college football teams that could be poised to disappoint this year. Now, this is in the vein of did well last year, underperformed this year.
And history tells us somebody or multiple teams is going to do this.
Why would we expect Syracuse, who shocked everybody last year, and they went 10-3, but kind of a forgettable 10-3 too? I mean, they beat. Did they beat Miami at the end of the year?
They blew up Miami's hopes of getting into the playoff.
And you know, Cam Ward was like on the sideline for half that game. Everybody's like, "What is going on here?" So they're on the list. That's a team that they got 10 wins last year. Great. That's not a team that typically wins 10 games. Missouri's on the list. They went 5-3 in the SEC. They went 10-3 overall. Double-digit wins for a Missouri team that is looked at as kind of not just a afterthoug's not even good enough. Like they are beyond an afterthought in the SEC, right? And Illinois kind of lives there also in that same. These are all teams that could be poised. I think the only reason they make the list is because we're used to not seeing them win double-digit games in a season. Illinois went 10-3. Missouri went 10-3. Syracuse went 10-3. All right. Tennessee went 10-3. I don't know how good they are either.
Do they have a quarterback?
They don't have a quarterback.
That's a problem.
So we'll see how that works out. Now, my favorite on this list, can I want to heap praise on this Yahoo Sports writer, Andy Backstrom, who chose violence, woke up this morning and chose violence, and he put USC on the list of teams that could fall off. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, did they have a good year last year? No, they didn't. They were 7-6.
They had a losing record
in conference play, and he still has them falling off even further off the face of the earth. You can't hate that. If you're a USC hater, which a lot of you are who are listening right now, no problem. Now, Big 12 teams, Iowa State. Could they be the ones, JJ, that go 11-3? First time they've ever won double-digit wins in the regular season. And Matt Campbell's a great coach. That's the part that I have a hard time trying to wrap my brain around is that can Matt Campbell, and they have a quarterback, Rocco Beck, do they fall off after going 11-3 last year? They sort of finished with a little bit of a, last year. Not just in the Big 12 championship game. They were not sharp the last 3 games of the year.
They kind of
they
backed in, didn't they?
They could have easily lost to Utah up here on the hill. You remember?
Could have easily lost to Kansas State.
Yes.
And Kansas State just couldn't get out of their own way.
Kansas State was like already equally over it last year, right, at that point. So do they fall off? I just don't see it.
It's
only because I think I really believe in Matt Campbell. I think he gets his guys ready.
So what would falling off be?
If you're Iowa State,
11-3 last year was the first 10-win season plus season in their history.
In their history, 133.
I'm looking at their history right now.
Yeah.
They never won 10 games in their history, let alone 11.
So this is only the second time that they finished in the AP top 15.
Wow.
By the way, both times were under Matt Campbell.
The other time was in 2020 in the COVID year.
Yes. So I just don't think that they fall off nearly as much as they. Falling off for them, I think, means they lose at least 3 conference games, and they're not even in the discussion about getting to the Big 12 championship game.
I know what you said about Matt Campbell, and I have nothing but respect for him and what he's doing at Iowa State.
But that could very well happen. Yeah.
They've been pretty mid. I'll go through their seasons. Matt Campbell has been there since 2016. It's a long tenure. He's 3-9 his first year. After that, 8-5, 7-6. They had that 9-3 COVID year, if you want to count that year. Weird year, right? Mm-hmm. But they did go to the Fiesta Bowl that year and played Oregon. Finished 9-3, but then 7-6 in 2021, 4-8 in 2022, 7-6 in 2023. They have that great year last year. History actually will tell us that Iowa State will fall off. Not down. It's not like it'll completely fall apart, but 7-6 or 6-7, very possible, very possible. Because they've typically been 8-5, 7-6 on average. And I know that you wouldn't think that because Matt Campbell has exceeded expectations there, because in the past they just plain stunk.
Yeah.
But
by the way, they got their butts handed to them.
They could regress to the mean this year, and that mean is around 500.
They got their butts handed to them in the Big 12 championship game, by the way, if you recall.
It wasn't even close.
Now, Abu Sama, back again, and he's a really good running back.
Rocco Becht, back again.
Quarterback.
Very good quarterback.
You've got a quarterback name right there, right? And I get it. You have 2 NFL draft picks at both the wide receiver and the defensive back positions that are gone. But I do think that you're going to see a lot of improvement in other areas that could make Iowa State just kind of keep that same momentum that they've had. Vanderbilt. Let's go back to being Vanderbilt again. They're on the list. They were 7-6 last year. They were 3-5 in conference. I don't know, with all those promises that Diego Pavia's making. Come on, man. They're poised for a win. Because you know what? It's easy to win the SEC if you're Vanderbilt, right?
Their offensive line lost 4 starters.
Colorado also poised to fall off of their 9-4 pace last year. They were 7-2.
As well.
They were one of the 7-2 conference teams last year at the end of everything. Colorado, I don't know how. Look, Coach Prime is going through what he's going through. I think that is going to negatively reflect onto the rest of the team.
It just has to. I hate it. I hate that. And what he's going through is difficult, and we're obviously wish the best for him as he continues to recover, but he hasn't even been in Boulder. We've talked to media there. He's not even been around. He's been battling cancer. And they don't have the talent at the level that they had last year. And how does that team get better? I don't see it. I think they're going to struggle. I do. I agree. I think that Colorado, if they get to 6-6 or 7-5 regular season, that's a really good year for Colorado, because I think it's going to be worse than that.
All right.
I just don't think they have enough talent. They're not bringing enough guys back. You lose a Heisman Trophy winner, you lose an All-American quarterback, and you can't replace that production. I mean, I just think they're a pretty mid-level team in the Big 12, and that could come crashing down. Another team that, is on the list here, I'll mention real quick, we got to get out, but UNLV in the Mountain West. New coach. I don't know, man. UNLV historically has not been good for consistent years, and I don't think Dan Mullen coming in is going to be able to wave a magic wand and keep that thing going with some of the talent that they lost. So I think the Mountain West is, outside of Boise State, I think the Mountain West could be as unpredictable as the Big 12 was last year.
Crazy. So there you go. Colorado and Iowa State, those are the two Big 12 teams. They're like, UNLV could fall off. They went 11-3. Remember that 6-1 Mountain West team, UNLV? Then they hired Dan Mullen. And then he's going to see what he can do.
Yeah,
I just can't see. I can't see them picking up.
I get why they hired Dan Mullen. You just don't wave a magic wand at UNLV. It's tough to win there. Historically, it's been very tough.
Right.
And I don't know. I have my doubts. Iowa State tracks. That would track. If there's a team out there that was in the top that could drop down, I think that tracks. I see a lot of the other teams that felt like they finished strong last year. And I think Iowa State's the one to watch, that not necessarily have the bottom fall out, but drop back in the pack and not be a contender.
Okay, we're going to take a break. More to go around the corner. When we return, we've got tons to get into because I have a top 10 list for you guys. This is going to track toward the more difficult level.
Uh-oh.
But I think there might be an advantage that you have that I'll describe for you when we come back. So our top 10 is going to be football related. It's going to be stat related. You don't want to miss it. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone. Welcome back to the program. Happy Thursday to you. Let me see here. I've got a top 10 for you.
All right,
now,
let's roll.
I told you this one's going to be the level of difficulty on this one might be a little bit tougher. Don't do that. Don't make that noise. Come on. I know. Listen,
Grumble.
I get it. However, I'm going to. Okay. All right. Fine. I'm gonna just do it. Okay. It's gonna be deep cut. It's going to be the top 10 list of the most rushing career yards at the University of Utah.
Most career rushing
yards, University of Utah. The 10 players that are on that list. Are you ready, JJ?
Yeah, let's go.
Alex, our producer, you ready? He just took his headphones off. He's like, I'm out. No, he's in. Come on. Here we go. Without further ado, we're going to drop the timer and let's get this thing going. Go.
Zach Moss.
Ding.
Eddie Johnson.
Ding.
Carl Monroe? No. Devontae Booker.
Ding.
Eddie White.
Oh, hold on.
Juan Johnson.
Hold on. Yes. Ding on Juan
Chris
Johnson.
Fuamatu Malafala.
Ding on Malafala.
Oh, gotta go back. Who else in the 90s?
Wait, did you say what? You said,
I said Juan Johnson.
You said an Eddie in there somewhere.
Eddie
too.
Wide?
No.
Okay.
Because you said. Wait, you said.
Matt Asiata.
Ooh.
No? Okay. Who am I missing?
Some guys that are more recent than
Anderson.
That.
No?
Nope.
Dang it. It's not Jamal. Jamal didn't get that much. I got crap. Who am I missing?
Alex, our producer, any you're just gonna hide in your cave over there? Okay, fine. Perfect.
I know I'm missing some big
names.
You are
missing some big names.
John White.
Ding.
Dale Rogers. Yeah, Dale Rogers. Popcorn Rogers.
Ding. I'll give it to you even though the timer was up. Okay.
There's some guys in the 2000s I missed. I know.
Yes. Zach Moss, number 1. Eddie Johnson, number 2. Tony Lindsay.
Oh, yeah. That's
3.
Early 80s.
Early 80s, late 70s, yes. Devontae Booker, 4. Ma'avala, 5. Del Rogers, 6. Juan Johnson, 7. You did really well, by the way. You're going to kick yourself on last couple.
I know I am going
John
to.
White, number 8.
Good.
Mekhi Bernard, 9.
Oh, Mekhi made it to 9th?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mekhi. That's a new one. I didn't know that.
He did have 6 seasons here.
He got a little extra time to do it, but he did it.
Number 9 with 2,217 yards total.
Good for Mekhi.
And then Eddie Lewis.
Eddie Lewis. Yep.
Number 10. You know
Guy
what?
from the 90s, right?
That's big time. That's a big time move by JJ over here. You got 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10? 7 out of 10. Phenomenal.
I miss Tony Lindsay. I'm actually kicking myself over that.
Miss Tony Lindsay, Miss Mekhi Bernard, Miss Eddie Lewis. Those are the 3. That's it.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, because you added John White at the end there, and then who else? You guys added somebody else. No, that was it. Yeah. All right. No, you guys did well.
All right. Utah fans, did I do okay? Did I embarrass myself?
I say you guys did well.
Did I let you down?
JJ did well.
I got him in a minute.
I had Del Rogers.
I got Del Rogers. You know what?
Did you know Del Rogers is a long-time sports broadcaster in Sacramento?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Very successful after his playing days.
Single season rushing record, though?
Single season?
For touchdowns.
For touchdowns.
Yes.
That's still got to be Zach Moss, right?
Tavion Thomas had 21.
Oh,
Remember
that's
back
right.
in 21?
Yeah, in 2021. That season was
Tavion
really special,
Thomas,
and then
we hardly knew ye.
He did not deliver after that.
No. All right, we'll take a break.
That 2021 was special for him, though.
We'll come back. Riley Nelson, former BYU quarterback, somebody we love having on this program. He's going to chat with us. We'll talk quarterback battles with Riles. So stay right here with us. More to go. 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.